The streaming started now.
Okay, great. So formally, a very good morning to one and all. I'm Dr. Sriparna Chatterjee, an INYAS member working at CSIR IMMT Bhubaneswar, and we welcome you all to this workshop on intellectual property rights for academics and research, jointly organized by CSIR IMMT and INYAS. So INYAS stands for Indian National Young Academy of Science, and it is the only recognized young academy of our country. So basically, this workshop was conceptualized because the government of India has declared this July month as the National Intellectual Property Festival as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So we thought, like both INEAS and IMMT, we thought that, okay, why don't we join our hands together to this important initiative and to sensitize the stakeholders on innovation and intellectual property aspect. So you all are well aware about CSIR labs and IMMT. So I'm not going to introduce to IMMT. Rather, I think many of you are not that much aware of INYAS. So I would take this opportunity to introduce very briefly INYAS to you. So just you just allow me to share my screen with you. Uh, Yeah, so I hope my screen is visible to you. Can you see my screen, Ananya? Can you confirm?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So as I have told you, like INYAS is Indian National Young Academy of Science. So our head office is at New Delhi, and inside the INSA premises. So basically, we are the daughter concern of Indian National Science Academy. Now, let me just tell you the history of INEAS. So in the year of 2014, 20 founding members selected by INSA Council and emphasizing on gender diversity, institutional diversity, INEAS was formed. Okay, so most of the members at that time were INSA young scientists. Now, what is the structure of INEAS? So basically, we have the pyramidal structure is like that we have a chair position or chairperson position. The tenure is for 2 years, and this chair position is elected by INEAS members in general body meeting. And also, we have a very strong core committee members. Their tenure is also for 2 years. And again, the core committee members are elected by the INEAS members in general body meeting. Since last 2 years, I was a core committee member representing chemical sciences, but I have my tenure is over. So now I'm working as a normal member, general member, not a CC member. And we have, very enthusiastic members, but the membership tenure is only for 5 years. So the thing is, we always have a dynamic group. So like people come, they stay for 5 years as INEAS member, and then they become alumni. So always it is a very dynamic group. Now, what is the mission of INYAS? So our mission is to engage in interdisciplinary and intergenerational dialogue on scientific issues with a vision to promote science education and outreach. Outreach is a very strong point of INYAS. And we also network among young scientists across India and beyond. And we support young scientists in career development and independence. We always try to build scientific temperament across the country. And of course, we collaborate with other young academies worldwide. Now, just to mention a few key achievements of INYAS, of course, this is not the exhaustive list. I mean, the list is very long. I won't be able to cover. So what we do, basically, we represent at National Academy, Science Academies for active science collaboration of INYAS members. We participate in worldwide meetings of young academies. Also, we engage ourselves in global research platform. We participate in various science policy and decision making by organizing webinars, by hosting meetings, by having survey, by publishing white papers, and several INYAS members are top science awardees. It's a very proud thing to say, and editorial board members of international journals. Now, just to give you a glimpse of just glimpse that what we do, I mean, it's again, I'd say like it's very difficult to give total activity of INYAS in front of you. You can see that, but very recently we had Dr. Preeti Aglayam among us to have a discussion about, I mean, how like, because she is the, I mean, sensation now, because she is the first woman director of IIT. So we had a very nice interactive meeting with her. We also host, various kind of competitions for young students. Like this is the poster you can see. Very recently we organized a workshop to meet the gap, like the gap of you can say like the woman representation in science. At the same time, you can see we also do workshop for teachers education. We were invited by KIT to host a session on science, young 20, that is Y20 and the program of G20. Even in the G20 program, we are placing ourselves in a prominent position. And at the same time, it's not that we are doing only outreach. We are doing many other, I mean, the core subject related thing. You can see that very recently in Bhubaneswar, one workshop was done on biotechnology. Sorry, it's not workshop, it was international conference on biotechnology. And like, as I have told you, that we are working on various aspects, like we collaborate with International Science Council and DST-CPR, and to have like online group meeting on peer reviewed preprints. And for students, we have a national competition for research excellence. And to educate, or I mean to help our PhD student or postdoctoral students, we have a very new kind of program that is called Prayojan. It is a yearly program, annual program, and where we actually try to help students to update them about their career progression. Now again, like if you are very keen to know, you have to keep eye on, I mean, social media pages of INYAS. Now the very upcoming events, what I can tell you, that very recently we will have like the Trailblazer event, where like we will post some reels. We will exchange dialogues with, I mean, couples, I mean the scientific couples. So you can attend all these in future. And like as I have told you, like to know more and more about INYAS, you can go to INYAS website. You can have a look on Facebook page of INYAS. You can just go through Twitter account of INYAS. So you will get all updates about INYAS. Now, the members of INYAS, I mean, that is the key point of INYAS's success. Okay, so this year's call is open. And the call is, as you can see, the last date of application is 15th August. So I would request all of you to go through the advertisement. If you are interested, if you are willing to contribute to Indian science, please have a look and please apply. So all these lectures online and few of the offline events are also, I mean, we record, and we, for dissemination purpose, we also post them in our YouTube channel. So I mean, even this program is being live telecasted in YouTube. So you can go through this INYAS YouTube channel to have, I mean, to have idea that what kind of program we host, what is the quality of the program. And if you have any query, any suggestion, anything, you can always write to us in these two email IDs. We will be happy to answer you. And with this, I would conclude here about INYAS. Now, sorry, just so now just let me come to today's event, that is the workshop on intellectual property rights in academics and research. Now, for several reasons, actually, this intellectual property right play a crucial role in research and academics, because IPR ensures that the creators of intellectual property are recognized for their work, and they have control over their creation. right? So I mean, we all are aware about Acharya Jagadish Chandra Bose's story. I mean, he chose not to patent any of many of his invention. Actually, recently I was visiting Darjeeling and his lab. So I mean, he had many inventions, and he believed in free exchange of scientific knowledge, and that's why, I mean, okay, he was okay with not patenting his work, but still many of us now we understand the urge or the necessity of patenting of our research ideas, you can say findings, maybe designs, and I mean many others. So to know more about IPR, because I am not a specialist, so to know more about IPR today, what we have four speakers among us from different background. So we will start with Dr. Pavan Kumar, who is the key mind behind this workshop and one of the best people to reach out to in India for any discussion related to IPR. And along with Dr. Pavan, we have Dr. Neha Sardana from IIT Ropar, Dr. Dibyendu from ICAR NRRI, that's the Rice Research Institute, it's in Cuttack. And we have Dr. Lakshmi Darbestra from CSIR IMMT, who will narrate their experience of patenting their research work. Okay, so we are very excited to hear about their to hear about their experiences. So initially, our respected director, Dr. Ramanuj Narayan, kindly agreed to preside over this meeting. But however, I mean, at the last minute, because of his travel schedule, he could not join us. I mean, we hope to have him in future in many of our events, I would say. So nonetheless, we have today a very senior colleague of ours, Dr. T.S. Rao, who is leading HRD of CSIR IMMT, and he will preside over this meeting as guest of honor. So we express our heartfelt thanks to you, Rao sir, because it was a very short notice. I mean, thanks to you. Thank you very much. So just let me introduce very briefly Dr. Rao. He is having more than 20 years of R&D as well as teaching experience in the area of mineral research. He is an outstanding researcher with many publications. Many of his research outcomes have been commercialized, and he is recipient of many awards. I'll just mention a few, like Nihan Award, Altekar Award from NML Jamshedpur, Parvadhanulu Award, Mishra Award, 2 times Best Published Paper Award from IIME, Sitaram Rungta Memorial Award from SGIT Bhubaneswar, and most importantly, he is the recipient of Technology Award from CSIR Government of India. And along with that, he is recipient of R.P. Bhatnagar Award, Lala Ramkrishna Singlal for MGMI Kolkata, Mineral Beneficiation from IIME Jamshedpur for his outstanding contribution in research and development on mineral sector of India. So, sir, it is our pleasure to have you in the meeting as a guest of honor, and we would like to request you to address the gathering.
Thank you, Sriparna. Thank you very much for your brief introduction. Good morning to all of you, my CSR IMMT colleagues, Dr. Neha, Dr. Chatterjee, and all the members of INYAS who are participating in this IPR program today. I personally welcome to you all to this program on behalf of our director, Professor Ramanuj Narayan, who because of his busy schedule at Delhi for a meeting is gone, and he was not able to attend this program. However, I will just briefly tell about CSR MMT, what we are doing. At CSR MMT, we organize various types of training programs, and some of the training programs are government sponsored like Jigyasa, and some of the training programs are for the young students who are at the final year student of post-graduations or bachelors in engineering, like summer and winter dissertation programs. And we also do skill development program for the various private and government sectors. And other than this, we also conduct executive training programs for the industry people who join as GETs or graduate engineer trainees in various industries. And with this program, today's program is also a part and parcel of training. You know, the intellectual property rights, it's highly essential nowadays, and it is quite necessary for the students for the final year or doing research or scientists, especially the young scientists, to have the introductory knowledge how to do the intellectual properties, patenting, copying, or your copyrights you are putting. Therefore, with this view, Government of India has announced the month of July as awareness program for the intellectual property rights. On this program, our Pravan Kumar, who is an expert in the intellectual property rights, by the help of director, by the support of director, by the director's directives, we made a Rath called IP Rath, which has gone throughout the Odisha, almost around 250 kilometers around Bhubaneswar, attending to almost many of the engineering colleges and many of the schools for making this program, intellectual property rights, as the awareness program. With these few words, I welcome you all, and please listen to all the talks. It's really, these are very interesting talks, and they're eminent people in their respective fields. Welcome you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I mean, we will hope that you will be able to give us time for the whole session. But if you have any emergency, or I mean, if you have any pre-scheduled meeting, so it is fine. I mean, if you want to discontinue the session, that's fine with us. So now what I'll do, so we will have our first talk by Dr. Pavan Kumar. So as you have heard from me and from Rao sir also, like he is the best person, one of the best person to talk about IPR. So let me just introduce Dr. Pavan Kumar. So he is the senior scientist working at as a senior scientist at IMMT, and he is actually is in the responsibility of strategy planning and business development. He is the coordinator of intellectual property and convener of business development. He is the convener and manager of Innovative Technology Enabling Center. And he is the ethics officer and secretary of Standing Ethics Committee. And he is the coordinator of Maitri. But most importantly, what I feel very nice to talk, I mean, whenever I get an opportunity to introduce Pavan, is that actually his core expertise is in chemical science. So actually he is a PhD in chemistry from Osmania University, and we have Academy of Scientific and Industrial Research. So he is a faculty of chemistry in ACSIR. Now, so we are, I mean, eager to learn from Pavan that from a chemistry background, how he made his road to this IP related thing. Okay, so he is recipient of many awards, like he is the member of Global Intellectual Property Convention, that is GIPC 2018. He received WIPO, WIPO IP Scholarship 2016. He received ACRB Young Scientist Award in 2015. He received Telangana Young Scientist Award in 2015, and he received DST Inspired Faculty Award in 2012. And he is also a gold medalist in master degree. And I think Pavan has a, I mean, very long CV, so it will be difficult for me to cover all the details about Pavan. Rather, I would request Pavan to start his session, because we all are, I mean, waiting eagerly to hear him. So Pavan, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Sriparna. Thank you for your kind introduction. Yes, because I am like associated with both chemistry as well as IP, so there I had to add both the sides, both the components. So my CV looks to be little lengthier than as it needs to be. Anyway, I'm very thankful to you for being associating with us in conducting this program, especially on the occasion of National Intellectual Property Festival. Of course, as you told, yes, I was a organic chemistry researcher. Even at present also, I do research in organic chemistry. But yes, some part of my activities are focused towards IP. And now, to a larger extent, I also involved in promoting IP for researchers and academicians. And until I completed my PhD, I was really not aware of anything about IP. But I had to associate with a company called as Dolshara at Hyderabad, which is a patent analytics company. There I could realize the value. Then I thought I should make a parallel practice. Meanwhile, we all joined through Inspire Faculty Award at various institutions. Luckily, I could join back at IICT, where I could integrate these patent learnings with research. That is where we could able to file some patents, and then I thought I should also explore that platform. So with these kind of experiences, now I thought I will be talking to the participants today on the aspects of intellectual property rights. Here I'll be covering the basic aspects. I'll introduce what is called IP, different types of IPs with some examples. Then more importantly, we talk about patenting, how one can convert such works into patents. I'll just share my screen. Maybe shall I switch off my video if there is any technical glitch?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I'll just switch off my video and I'll share my screen. So hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Okay. So here, as I mentioned, I'll be talking to you on intellectual property rights for academics and research. And like DS Rao sir mentioned, we have started a CSR IPRs, which is doing well, and it will continue till 31st of July. And these are the places from where I got my education, training, working experience, both in terms of chemistry research as well as intellectual property. And luckily, we could file these many number of patents. And more luckily, we could able to also license 4 of our patents to Sun Pharma. So with these kind of background in our contributions, wherever I get an opportunity, I always try to incorporate IPR subject. Even with the chemistry, whenever I talk about chemistry, I try to include IPR also. So here is what generally we see whenever we start working on some research project. It may lead to discovery, invention, or innovation. But believe me, discoveries may not generally fetch us IPs, but inventions as well as innovations do fetch us IPs, provided if we are interested in obtaining them. And here is how the entire human evolution as well as civilization, if you look into the historical aspects, these kind of changes have been taken place. And throughout all these stages, IP was there either directly or indirectly. And to summarize, this is how it started with the invention of the wheel. Now we are in the innovations around the transportation sector. This is about the cell phone. Before 1970, there were no mobile phones at all. But then started with the invention of a mobile phone. Then slowly, so many innovations have taken place. And today we are enjoying the slim phones or smartphones. We all know that it is the human who can think and create. Believe me or not, this is the kind of potential that every individual has got. We can generate about 60,000 to 80,000 thoughts per day. However, all thoughts may not be that potential, may not be that valuable. But whenever you feel that your idea is valuable, you should definitely own it. Like Sriparna has mentioned about Professor Jagadish Chandra Bose. Yes, he is one of the greatest scientists our country has produced. Otherwise, he would have become the inventor of radio if he has obtained patents. At the time, somehow he was not that favor towards obtaining IP. Later on, after a few years, Marconi could come up with similar kind of inventions, and now the entire credit has gone to Marconi. So therefore, whenever you feel your idea is valuable, you should definitely own them in the form of IP. It is the same Jagadish Chandra Bose who is the first Asian to obtain an American patent. So this itself is a great example for us to realize the impact of IP. Ideas which are just ideas, they may not bring us any impact unless you convert them into practical outcomes. So therefore, while you convert them into practical outcomes, if we can adopt this strategy, creation, protection through intellectual property, and then exploitation for making profits or at least generating revenues. Once we start adopting this practice and implementing it with a systematic approach, certainly there is a huge scope for us to make great contributions with respect to technologies and innovations. And if you look into the development of a mobile phone, these are the several stages that goes into converting an idea into a profitable outcome. But most of the times, our R&D works generally falls in these two stages. We generate ideas, develop proof of concept, submit a report, submit a paper, or publish it, or make an article, just stop there. Go back to some new ideas. So this is how we somehow we are not realizing the steps which are beyond the proof of concept. But for last few years, there's a decent sensitization on these matters, and a good number of contributions we could see from our academic and research practices. But however, they need to be taken up with a greater motive. Now, let us look into why IP. In what way IP plays a significant role in converting our ideas into profitable outcomes. There are only about 10 to 15 countries which are referred as advanced economies. All others are under, they can be referred as rest of the world. Population, GDP, publications, in every sector, except for the population, GDP publications, they are dominating. If you look into patents, hardly others find any role. So all the technological innovative contributions are only from these few advanced economies. And that is how they are dominating the entire globe. And when it comes to publications, yes, many countries are doing reasonably good. Even India stands at number 3. We should feel happy. We should appreciate. If you look into the patents, these are the 5 countries: China, US, Japan, Korea, and Europe. These 5 countries are dominating the entire globe by way of IP in the form of patents. Any technology that comes, any innovation that comes, majorly they are from these countries. And in India, this is the kind of contributions from individual state. Tamil Nadu files about 5,000 patents, then Maharashtra with around 4,500. Likewise, every state is contributing to patents with a reasonably good numbers. Though I am calling it as good numbers, but in reality, no state is really performing that good. Whether it is Assam with 150 or Tamil Nadu with 5,000, I think our numbers are not reflecting to the kind of activities or to the kind of population that we have, to the kind of knowledge share we get at a global level. Somehow we are struggling, or maybe we have not realized the value of converting our knowledge into a profitable outcome through IP. And these lines by Swami Vivekananda appears to be very, very important for all of us while practicing our research. Wisdom lies not in the amount of knowledge acquired, but in the degrees of its application. Now, today we are in the era of innovations. Knowledge era has already gone. There is ample amount of knowledge that is available. The intelligence lies only in converting our knowledge into a useful application through which we can generate some revenue and make some profit. That is where IP plays a very, very significant role. If you can obtain an IP over your creations, certainly you get a valuable time wherein only you can exploit your invention. That is where IP plays a significant role, and the countries which we refer them as superpowers, they could realize this very early, adopt it, and they are practicing it with a systematic approach. So IP deals with almost all the aspects that we generally do come across: protection, brand, trademark, patent, invention, copyright, infringement, licensing, secrets. So whatever you talk about, whatever you come across, whatever you observe, whatever you experience, yes, almost all at each and every place, IP is there. Either directly or indirectly, it is always associated with us. Here is the definition given by World Intellectual Property Organization. It is nothing but the creations of the mind. IP is creations of the mind. Once you start creating, if your idea results into a physical outcome, if that outcome is an invention or artistic works or symbols, names, images, designs, which might help you in commercial aspects, then they can be referred as intellectual property. Here is the classification of IP. Broadly, it is of two types: copyright and industrial property. Again, industrial property depends on two factors: innovation and information. Patents, trade secrets, industrial designs goes under innovation, whereas trademarks, geographical indications, they go under information. And copyrights, all kinds of works related to the authorship or performance, they go under copyrights. On the left hand side, I tried to show you the different types of IPs with an example each. Please go through them carefully. And here is a slide which helps us in understanding the process of evolution of different types of IPs, starting with the ideas that we generate. Idea leading to an expressive work. Idea leading to expression, you may get a copyright. Idea resulting into invention or innovation, you may get a patent. Idea reflecting the quality and identity of a product or of a service, you may get a trademark. Idea resulting into appearance, only the aesthetic or ornamental feature. Appearance in the sense only the aesthetic or ornamental feature, you may get a industrial design. And then if your idea is kept as a secret, not disclosed to anyone, then if you do some trade, make some generate some profits or make some revenue, then certainly it would be called as a trade secret. Again, here I try to show all these types of IPs evolving from ideas with an example each. As a property, it can be sold, it can be bought, it can be leased or rented, it can pass under a will, it can also be assigned. Whatever we do or whatever we do with our regular properties, the same aspects can also be performed by using intellectual property. But however, there are certain limitations. Regular properties can be enjoyable for longer times as long as you or your other generations hold them. But intellectual property is not like that. Intellectual property rights are limited time enjoyment rights. So they are time bound and territorial bound. These are the two major limitations of intellectual property. And time limitation is like this for different IPs. Patents, the rights are given for 20 years. There is no renewal process. After 20 years, it will become an open property. Anyone can enjoy it, anyone can exploit it. Trademarks, designs, and geographical indications. Initially 10 years, but however, they can be renewable further if you wish. Copyrights, lifetime of the author plus 60 years, and then plan protection for about 15 to 18 years, integrated circuits for about 10 years. After these time limitations are over, in no manner you would get an extension. Your time period is completed, and since then, anyone can exploit it if they wish. So therefore, one need to be intelligent enough within this given time period for each kind of IP. Whatever profits, whatever benefits you wish to make, you need to make within this time frame. These are the examples of trademarks: marks on goods, service marks, certification marks, collective marks, well-known marks, trade names. Few more examples of the trademarks for the products or services that we do come across in our day-to-day life. And even behind these deceptive practices that we come across in the market place, certainly IP has some or other role. Of course, IP also encourages to some extent for these deceptive practices. Believe me or not, there are 4 brands of Bisleri available in the market. Out of those 4, one is the original brand, others are rest are the deceptive brands. So therefore, one need to be careful enough while dealing with these activities. Copyright is a legal term describing the rights given to the creators for their literary and artistic works. Any kind of works, audio materials, dramatic works, architectures, paintings, drawings, maps, references, newspapers, sculptures, posters, advertisements, banners, and even computer programs, brochures, cinematography, musical compositions, all these can be covered under copyrights. GI is again a very special kind of IP and more important for the countries like India, where our country is referred as a country with unity in diversity. Diversity in many means. And we also have geographical diversity. That is where, as on today, there are about more than 400 registered geographical indications. Darjeeling tea was the first GI. Then Kanchipuram Pattu, Agra Peta, Nagpur Oranges, Dharwad Peda, Mysore Silk. If you are from Odisha, then Kandamal Haldi, Pattachitra, Konark Stone Carvings. And if you are from Bengal, Bengali Rasagulla. If you are from Pune, Puneri Pagdi. If you are from Tamil Nadu, then Tirunelveli Halwa. If you are from Kerala, Halepi Coir. Likewise, almost every state has got a decent number of geographical indications. Even Hyderabadi Biryani, Hyderabadi Halim. So, name or sign used for the product coming from a specific place wherein the characteristics of those products are attributable to that place is called as GI. These are the examples of GIs from Odisha. There are about 17 GIs from Odisha as of now. And there are few more attempts going on to obtain GI for some other products from Odisha. Of course, likewise, every state. So any of these products can go as GI: agricultural product, food stuff, wine and spirit drink, handicraft, clothing, or any other industrial product. And coming to designs, as I mentioned, idea leading to appearance. In this kind of IP, only the aesthetic or ornamental features are protected, but not the technical aspects. And examples include any kind of consumer products, pharmaceutical products, textile, jewelry, or any others. All these can go under industrial designs. And these are the 4, some of the world famous trade secrets. Coca-Cola original formula or composition is a secret since 1886. KFC original recipe, then spray lubricant, Google page rank algorithm. Likewise, there are few more others. But believe me, if you are very good at maintaining the secrets, this is the most powerful form of IP. Unlike other IPs, there is no time limitation for trade secret. The only limitation is maintaining or not maintaining the secret. If you maintain, you can enjoy it as long as it is maintained. If you do not maintain, there is no one can help you out. You cannot do anything. Then comes the patent. Patent in simple terms is referred as a contract between the government and the inventor. You invent something out of your research, you file a patent with the patent office. In return, you'll get some rights. Those rights are called as patent rights. And the rights are to stop others. So once you obtain a patent, no one is allowed or authorized to practice your invention without seeking permission from you. That permission can be through license, through assignment, by any other means. In simple terms, it is referred as techno-legal document. And technical part is the part generally we practice for publications like the manuscript or the supporting dot, including all. It is the technical part of the document. And apart from that, it also has got some legal component. It is through this legal component we get the rights. Otherwise, it can be referred as publication. Whatever we send it to a publication, that plus the legal component. The legal component is mainly referred as claims. It's a conditional grant. It has got balance of rights and obligations. It is also subject to other laws of the land and always granted to the owner of the invention or their assignee. These are some inventions which are patented. And if you look at the examples carefully, these are very old inventions, right? Now today in this generation, we are enjoying the advanced versions of all these early stage patented inventions. Maybe a mobile phone, maybe a bulb, maybe a bicycle, maybe a motor carriage, maybe a parachute, or maybe a spectacle or calculator or any others. So this is over the period of time, improvements will take place, and all throughout these improvements at each and every stage, IP is there, either trademark or a copyright or a patent or a design or a secret. Generally, secrets may not be that easy for the technologies that we do come across in everyday life, but others are quite possible. From here, I'll be quickly showing you some of the patented inventions. Here is the patent for modern zipper in 1899. Before 1899, modern zippers were not there, but today, without modern zipper, our day do not go. This is the power of intellectual property. First machine gun was patented in 1862. Here is the patent number. And collapsible tube, the toothpaste, face cream, washing cream, so many creams are coming. So even this is a patented invention of 1841. Friction match was also patented in 1836. Here is the patent number. This is the 68th patent issued in US. And to summarize the different types of IPs, I have taken the example of washing machine. The body, whatever is appearing to us, is protected as industrial design, user manual as copyright, name and logo as trademark, and technical parts, engine, drum, all other technical features, they are protected as patents. So therefore, a given single product may be associated with several types of IPs. And these are a few more examples. He is the youngest patent holder of one of the youngest patent holder of our country, a 9-year boy, for developing 6-player chess. And Michael Jackson's dance was so popular, very unique. No one could copy because he has got a patent. And this used to be the case once upon a time. And today we are seeing sensor-based terms, and he is the person behind the invention of sensor-based terms. Now he controls the entire cricket ecosystem. Single-handedly, he has invented this. Few more examples to add to the list. Sniggly Baby Carrier, Bobby Doll, and Ramya Jose from Kerala. She has invented pedal-powered washing machine. All these are patented inventions. A welder from Nagarkoil, Tamil Nadu. He has invented remote control toilet bed system. He has been awarded with National Innovation Prize from President of India. And waste to wealth is the hottest area of research in today's scenario. And here is the process of making biochar from human waste. They made it, they made the product, now they filed the patents. This product is now marketed in more than 5-6 countries. And another interesting story of a grandmother. She is the inventor of fidget spinner that we see in the market today. She got a European patent got granted, but unfortunately she was not having Euro 310 to pay towards annual maintenance. Because of the non-payment of annual maintenance, her invention got abandoned, her patent got abandoned, it came into the open domain, and today this is the worth of spinning toy industry. So in earlier cases, people have become rich by IP. In this case, though she got a potential IP, she could not make any money. Examples are there in both the sides. And I'm an organic chemist. Being an organic chemistry team, we always try to design and develop molecules for various biological applications. And these are some of the examples. And this work more specifically, I would like to mention the work for which we first thought of filing patents in 2015. We filed about 4 patents. Luckily, by 2019, those 4 patents got licensed to Sun Pharma. And I was at IST during that time, and IST could receive about 5 crores towards royalty as a first premium royalty. If everything goes well, according to this newspaper article, we can see that there is a projected income of about 240 crores to IACT, provided if every activity, every later stage activity, see the success. And these are the American patents, granted patents from our works. Few more works, like we always try to design and develop new molecules for various applications. And these are PCT patent applications from our research works. And with this discussion, we all know that it is the innovation which can distinguish between a leader and the follower. Luckily, everything starts with an idea. but not just an idea which is a smart idea. So therefore, here is the impact of a leader versus follower, and idea serves as the source. And this would be the scenario if you do not have IP assets. Big will eat small, small will eat further small. Being small is so dangerous. And if you have IP assets, whatever small you might be, you can still fight, you can raise, you can resist, you can retain, you can stand on your own. This is the power of IP. Now, we are in a very high time, like the times of 1942, where the slogan was do or die. Luckily, we did it. We could get the independence, we could get the freedom. Now, India is an independent nation. Similar is the case today. If we innovate, we would be recognized at a larger scope. If we do not innovate, certainly we might be ignored. Okay, so innovation will bring us more and more recognition. Otherwise, we may see the ignorance. So therefore, we need to innovate. And the rationale is, if you always do what you always got, if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. So get up, get ready, go to the office or workplace, take lunch, do other things, come back home, eat well, sleep well, get up, go, come, go, go, come. If this is the routine practice, year after year, decade after decade, century after century, era after era, generations after generations, if this is the case, hardly we can see any difference in our progresses. So therefore, we need to come out of this safety valve, try to experiment something new, try to take some risk, so that we can add more and more value to our contributions. And here is a very simple strategy that we do generally propose to implement for all academic institutions, research institutions, even for the individuals. We conduct a lot of research activities, right? And generally we try to publish them in high impact journals. Very good, we should do that. But before that, if you can able to screen your works for their potentiality for IPs, if you find something, some scope there, try to take a patent or design first. Try to take an IP first. You can also publish the same work in the journal of your choice. By doing so, the visibility and credibility that you are expecting would be multiplied with great numbers, and there would be a decent scope for commercial exploitation. It is like 1+1 offer. For the same work, you get a patent, you can also get a publication, provided if you take patent first. If you do publication first, you will never get anything. By adopting this simple strategy, one can improve the numbers, one can improve the contributions towards IP from our practices. And here is an example of a professor who has got about 1,500 papers, 800 patents. His patents were licensed to more than 250 companies. He himself started 25 companies. We don't know whether he's a man or a machine, but certainly, believe me, in many of the developed countries, they have all the components in a proper place so that they can achieve the success. May not be as an individual, he might not, it may not be possible for him to do these many, but definitely yes, if they work with greater integration. And this is how Jai Anusandhan was added to the slogan. Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. Anusandhan is all about innovation. And whether we admit or not, this has been our research orientation, our main research orientation, making impact factor publications first. Yes, we need to do this. Certainly, it is very, very, very much required. We are very well in practicing this. But in addition to this, we also need to be reoriented towards India first, innovation first, and IP first. Whatever activity we take up, it should add value to our country. Whatever works we carry out, there should be some or other innovation. There should be some or other innovative concept. And wherever there is a possibility, we should take an IP first. By doing these three practices, along with the existing practice of making publications in journals, certainly we can achieve great progress. In these lines, CSIR has slightly modified the logo, and now CSIR is referred as the innovation engine of India. Though innovation has been a major objective for CSIR labs, but then now it is also reflecting in our logo. These are some memorable interactions that I could have with some eminent people. And with this, I stop here. And I hope I have contributed to something new in today's session, and we have made a reasonable justification for having the lecture on IPR. Thank you. And if there are any queries, we can take them up. Thank you all.
Thank you, Pavan. So the floor is now open for any remark or question, or if you want to get clarified your doubts, you can ask directly to Pavan. As I have wrote in the chat box, you can raise your hand or you can write in the chat box. So we have one query from Professor Nishant Chakravarti from IIT Kharagpur. So I will start with Nishant question, Pavan.
Yes,
So
yes.
he is asking, do trademarks have time limits? If yes, how are the big companies still retaining their trademarks?
See, trademark registration is not mandatory. Trademark and copyright registration is not mandatory. Even if you don't register also, it will work. So that is how many companies, without registering the trademark, they keep it for long. If you register, initially you get the rights for 10 years. But however, there's a possibility for the renewal for every 5 years or for every 10 years. Each country has different timelines. You can renew trademark as long as you wish to do so. Yes, they give a larger scope for keeping the government or the trademark laws gives a larger scope for maintaining them.
Okay, yeah. So
Hope I have answered.
yeah, he said thank you. So I think he is satisfied with your
Yes,
answer.
welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So Pavan, I think here many students are present. So on behalf of them, I would like to ask you a few questions.
Yes, yes.
Like say when we search for any publication, we generally Google it, okay? Or we may use Web of Science or all these search engines, right? So what will be your suggestion for patent searching?
Acha, right. Sriparna, like we use Google, there is a Google patent database. We can also we can use Google patents to conduct a very preliminary kind of search for the patents. Otherwise, there are also other free databases which are available, like eSpaceNet by European Patent Office, WIPO Patent Scope by World Intellectual Property Organization, Lens.org. These are free databases, but they have got a decent global coverage. This is one set. And another, the most important would be, you can also use a paid database. You may have to pay for subscription, but paid databases are very exhaustive in nature. There are many paid databases, like PatSeer is there, Questel Orbit is there, STN is there, even SciFinder. So whatever SciFinder we use in our research, that is a SciFinder which is journal specific. There's a SciFinder database for conducting patent search also. So yes, yeah, and paid databases are like supermarkets. You get everything ready-made. And maybe free databases are like local markets. You need to be little careful to find out the different components and place them in proper format, analyze for your requirements. But definitely, we need to conduct patent search also before we take up any new research activity. Otherwise, 80% of the research information will appear only in the form of patents.
Yeah, so there is a suggestion from Dr. Sonika. She is requesting that if you could write the names of just what you have mentioned. So probably, I mean, after your talk, if you could write the names in the chat box.
Fine,
so that would be helpful.
Right, I'm trying, but somehow I am unable to write the name in the chart.
Oh, okay. So
maybe Sripanda, what I'll do is I'll text you in your WhatsApp. You can copy it, because I'm trying to put that somehow this option for me. I am seeing no.
Okay, so you just text me in WhatsApp. I'll just copy and paste.
I'll definitely do that.
So another question again. I mean, maybe from the we all are researcher, right? So we don't know. I mean, I think we have vague concept. Okay, regarding this patenting thing.
Yes.
So my question is like, say I have done something. Okay, after this patent search and all these things. So is there any guideline that how to write patent? Because when I started writing patent, so I found it was completely different from paper writing. So what will be your comment on that?
Yes, here, see, patent writing is a scientific art, I must say. We all have the habit of writing manuscripts for the publications. It is manuscript for a publication kind of thing, plus something else. That something else is little tricky. That is where we talk about construction of the claims, designing and construction of the claims, or drafting the claims and all those. WIPO provides some material and also some tutorial on how to write the patents. And every country has got their country-specific patent databases. They also provide some materials. But yes, again, unless you attend some training programs on patent writing and involve in practical hands-on training, that may not be that easy.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, so that means you are saying that along with awareness, we should have training session on patent writing.
On patent writing. Patent writing, because if you are a chemist, you need to adopt one strategy. If you are an engineer, some other strategy. Biologist, some other strategy. So it needs a proper training, practical kind of training with some case studies and examples, then that would help. Whether you believe me or not, for me, even after having the preliminary experience of patents, it took 3 years for me to write my first patent. But now, if it is organic chemistry, 1 day is sufficient, starting to the end. Any other chemistry, 2 or 3 days. Any other subject, maximum of 5 days.
Yeah.
But initially, it becomes a little tough, and it is also very tricky.
Right. Yeah. So another question what pops up in my mind that like we often hear that someone has filed one Indian patent, and then the same kind of work he has like applied for, say, US patent or European patent. So now my question is that for individual, I mean, so the work which is published as Indian patent, okay, yes. The same work, can I apply for US patent or European patent or any other agency?
Yes.
And do I have to change the title?
No, not necessarily. If you wish, you can do, but otherwise, no. What happens is, patent is like a IP. Today, you file in, as being a citizen of India, you need to file in India first. Then you can file in any number of countries wherever you wish. If you wish to have protection in those countries, you can file in any number of countries. It can go with the same title. If you wish to modify title a bit here and there, also it is allowed. But generally, better to go with the same title, because the patents that you file in all other countries, they are called as family members of your patent filed in India. It is one invention filed in different countries. Okay. So therefore, better to keep the same title. Even if you slightly modify it, there won't be any objection.
Okay. So the related question will be like, so like if I have one work that is patented in India, I mean, at least filed, okay, and the same work I have filed patent, say in US or any other country. So shall I count it as 2 or 3 different patent or a single patent?
See, when you count the numbers, you can count them as different patents, because patent is awarded by the country. It is a territorial property. Okay. When I say 43 patents, it is not that 43 inventions. There were only about one invention we have filed in 9 countries for one work. So 9 countries means I count them as 9 patents. Okay. So therefore you can count them individually.
Okay. And one more thing, although I mean I have asked for this search engine and you have clarified, but like in CSIR system, I think Dr. Lakshmidhar Beshra, he will later on emphasize on that how the CSIR system works for this. I mean, basically not works, how CSIR helps. Okay. Now, for these other institutions like the MHRD institutions or probably the DA institutions, okay, so do they have some kind of, I mean, helping body or something like that, which can do the patent search professionally or something like that?
Yes. See, even URIDIP can give support to others also. For us, they will do on free basis, no charge basis, because we are from CSR lab. But otherwise, URDIP can also provide patent searching and analysis services to all others on some nominal charge basis. There is NRDC, which can also provide the services. Even our Indian Patent Office has got a training center at Nagpur. Even Nagpur office, RGNIIPM, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute for Intellectual Property Management, they also provide the services. And apart from this, there are also intellectual property facilitation centers in every state. They also provide services. They have different charges for academics, for research institutes, for individuals. With nominal charges, they will provide all these services.
Okay, okay. So there is another question. I think it is like, say someone has done some work. Okay, it has the possibility of patenting. So they have filed the patent. So until which stage they should wait for publishing? Like they should wait until the patent is granted, or after just filing, they can publish the manuscript.
After just filing, you can go for publication. After filing the patent, you can go for publication. You need not wait until the grant, because granting timelines are different in different countries. In America, it will be granted in 2 years. In India, it takes about, earlier it used to take about 7, 8, 9 years. Now it is taking about around 4 years, sometimes 3 to 4 years. So you need not wait until the grant. Filing is important. Once you file, you get the priority. Once you got the priority, after getting the priority, even if you disclose, even if you perform, demonstrate, nothing happens. But before filing, you should not disclose anywhere. If you disclose, it is no more a new thing. You will not get a patent.
Okay, great. So I see Nishant hand is raised. So Nishant, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Shiparna, and thank you, Pawan. So just related to that query of Shiparna's, if like, for example, I have filed a patent in India and then I go ahead for a publication, now can I file a patent in the US?
See, what happens is you can file in any other country within 12 months of time period. Today you file in India, you get 12 months time period to file in any of the other countries of your choice. When you file in other countries, your day will be counted from today only. Your priority will be counted from today only in all other countries.
During that period, can I publish as well?
Publish. Yes, yes. See, if you file in India, your priority is retained in all these countries for 12 months.
Okay, okay.
So therefore, you can publish it. There is also another route called as PCT route, through which you can get 30 months time period.
Okay.
But to get that 30 months, within this 12 months, you need to make a single international patent application.
Okay.
And yeah, welcome.
So I think
Sriparna, Dr. Sonika wrote how to decide whether to go for an Indian or international patent, but she also told I got my answer. But here I want to make one correction here. There is nothing like international patent. There is nothing like international patent, nothing like world patent, nothing like global patent. There is only international patent application. Otherwise, you need to call it as a abroad patent or foreign patent, but not, there is no international patent. I just wanted to make this correction for the benefit of all the participants.
Pawan, so the next question is often, I mean, although like we see like number of patent is less as compared to number of publication for a researcher, but I mean, for many people, we see the number of filed patent is more than number of granted patent. Yes. Okay, so yes. I mean there is a time lag, or maybe I don't know what is the mechanism, I mean it goes behind it. So can you just shed some light on this?
Yes, yes.
I mean,
see, what happens is you have to file it, then it is your duty as an inventor to request for the examination. Unless you request, patent office will not examine. So many a times many people file the patent, but they don't wish to pursue it for examination. So likewise, you see more numbers in filing, then less numbers in the granted patents. That is one. Second thing is, today you file, but by the time it gets granted, it takes about 4 to 5 years or 3 to 4 years. So therefore, those numbers also differ. These are the two major reasons. And sometimes people also withdraw. They also withdraw the patents. So these are the three major reasons why we see a difference in the numbers.
Yeah. So there is another question from Ritika.
I think this we have answered already.
Yeah, already it is answered.
Yes. You can publish it as and when you file a patent. You can parallelly prepare both. File it, then immediately submit the publication. Done.
Yeah. So I mean, probably, I mean, if I ask, there is never ending session, but still, I'll just probably take one more last question of mine.
Yes, yes.
So, like sometimes for journal, we request for waiver. Okay,
Huh,
waiver
huh.
of publication fee or something like that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
So, is there any mechanism for waiver of patent filing?
Not like direct waiver, but patent office will not provide, but government is providing the waivers. Now for all academic institutions, 80% discount is there for all fees related to the patenting. For CSR, 4,000, 8,000 is filing fee, 20,000 is examination fee. For academic institutes, startups and individuals, 1,600 is filing fees, 4,000 is examination fee. So 80% discount is given by government. And there is a possibility of expedite examination. So some kind of discounts or tatkal facilities are there. And there are some government agencies which do give financial support for patenting. Yeah. NRDC gives, TIFAC gives, even local state government MSMEs, they give all the financial support.
Okay, so I think we have to, I mean, conclude Pawan's session at some point of time. So I am stopping here with Pawan's session. So because we have 3 more speakers with us. So if the attendees have any more queries or any more clarification you need from Pawan, you just write to him. I think he will be happy to attend any of your queries, right, Pawan?
Yes, Sripina.
So
They
yeah,
can
thank you
always write to
once
me.
again. Yeah,
And I will be
so
happy to
thank
answer.
you once again on behalf of INYAS, and I know, I mean, this is your, I mean, you are very
We both are equal
excited.
organizers, so I should also
Yeah,
be
yeah,
thankful to you for.
yeah. So thank you for suggesting this initiative. Okay, so now I will move to our next
Thank you, Sriparna,
speaker.
and also I welcome all other speakers to this platform. Thank you.
Thank you. So now I will move to our next speaker, Dr. Neha Sardana from IIT Roper. So Neha is a BTech from IIT Roorkee, and she did her MS from TU Denmark. Then she did her PhD from International Max Planck Research School of Science and Technology of Nanostructure, Germany. She has served as a scientist at the Institute of Nanoscience and Technology for more than 3 years and as an assistant professor at IIT Jodhpur. Now, after Jodhpur, IIT Jodhpur, she is currently working as an assistant professor at IIT Roper in the Department of Metallurgical and Materials Engineering. Her key interests are in the field of nanostructured materials and plasmonics. She is an active member of INYAS. We are proud of Neha, and she is a recipient of IEI Young Engineer Award under the Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Division, and along with many important publications, as this is a session on IPR, so I am happy to inform you that Neha has filed 6 Indian patents. So the floor is I'm handing over this floor to Neha to share her experience for patenting. Neha, please.
Thank you, Sriparna, for such a nice introduction. Am I audible? And is my screen visible?
Yeah, both are okay.
Yeah. So I am really intrigued by the details that Pawan has given. I'm sure my talk does not have those details. It's more from a scientific perspective that how I created the idea and I filed a patent. So it's more about my journey towards patenting. So before I started with the patenting things, there was a lot of things in all the applications. There is one point for importance of patents. So patents are always given marks. So it was always in the back of my mind that I need to get patents onto my resume. So that was the driving force to start to look for patent filing and ideas how patents can be filed. And out of nowhere, this COVID stuck. So it was 2020 March. We could not do lab work. The students were at home and everything was at a standstill for almost 60 days. So we had a lot of time. We were taking online classes. But what would PhD students do during that time? So we were watching movies at that time, and there was a movie named Contagion that was even before the COVID stuck. And in that, it was a quite similar scenario as we had during the COVID times. So there, Kate Winslet, she was the protagonist in that particular movie. She said that an average person touches their face between 2,000 to 3,000 times a day. Well, was it true? I was a bit interested in this point. And does it help in spreading COVID? So when we looked at research from University of California, Berkeley, they said it's hardly 16 times an hour and around 100 touches per hour for some people. So can we have a detection system? I asked my PhD scholar, can we have a detection system that if my hand is going towards my face, it just sounds an alarm that I am not touching it? So they came up with a solution that we can have this kind of a small detection system. So if you can see here, this is my PhD scholar at that time, and we created this alarming system. Well, this was our first device, and of course it was not patentable because it is something that should have three things. It should be something novel. It should have a clear inventive step. It should have an industrial application. And of course, this was something that we came up with a lot of discussion, but it is commercially just a door sensor, something like that. It's quite similar to that. So this is not patentable. But making one device gave us the confidence to come up with more devices with more ideas, which should be novel, and they should have an industrial application. So from there, we went into the possible solutions that we can have for the spread of coronavirus. So this is, mind you, March 2020, where we are in lockdown and we are not able to go to the lab. The students are frustrated sitting at home. They are feeling that हमारी PhD कैसे complete होगी? How our PhD is going to be completed? So it was a desperate need to make these kind of devices because we wanted to do something to help the government also. So one of them was here down there was PPE designs were very, very uncomfortable for the doctors to be worn for so long times. They were sweating inside and corona was spreading like a lot. And the PPE supply was very low. The equipments needed to be sterilized and the sterilization equipments were very low. So this is 2020 and the end of 2020, right? And the PPE supplies were very short. So we discussed many possibilities, and in the second wave, almost when we were entering, the use of ventilators was not that important. Sometimes just a BiPAP machine and a mask, which would be infection free if we are using for 2 or more patients at the same time, giving them just air, that would be sufficient. So we came up with various ideas and we made certain devices related to that. So we made the BiPAP machine, the bi-level positive airway pressure, where we are creating a pressure of air. And we made masks which were not giving, not that can be used for 2 or more patients. They are flexible to fit with proper sterilization, of course. So we did make these designs, and when we checked for the patentability, and we did the patent search later on. It was not before. First, we wanted to find a solution because patentability was not the only aim in our mind. We wanted to do something. So we made this particular BiPAP machine was for 6,000 rupees. Whereas the BiPAP machine that we import from the foreign country, it's around 65,000 rupees. So it was a factor of more than 10 times difference. So we were able to provide this machine to the local hospitals at least, and at that time it was of use. Because it was not patentable, we looked up various designs for it. We tried and found out the similar patents to it, but it was not patentable, so we published it in any case. So we are still learning. So these were 2 devices which we made, and still we have not patented any. So the third problem was the PPE reusability. That was very important at that time, and it is really difficult that we don't want to reuse PPEs because they might contain the coronavirus or any viruses that can infect the next person or the same person. So the possible solution to avoid land wastes is to make PPEs reusable. And how it can be done? It can be done in various ways: wash with detergent, disinfectants, you can UVC irradiate them. So this is all the scientific research behind that we took up for a final solution that we could come up, that we wanted a PPE reusable without the fear of infection. So here, detergent ki washing machines are already available. UVC radiation ke devices are available. Disinfectants is available. Everything together again is not patentable. So because it is not having a clear inventive step, so if somebody knows about all these 3 or 4 researches, they can make this device. That is what the patent office says. So, so this was one of the products that we made. And then we came to the first patent that we filed. So this was an idea. We wrote a project on it with the Technology Development Board. They gave some money for us to develop the technology. So the chemistry part was done by a collaborator at INST Mohali, and we made the device out of it. So it was like an air purification device, which can be used for VOC, volatile organic compound sequestration. So this kind of device can be used in-house in your rooms, and it can be used in poultry farms. So these kind of devices were used. So the inventive step here was the device design. So the device design was under the protection that it was a novel design. And the chemistry part, the membranes that we had used, they had never been used before, and that was also patentable. So we thought we can file 2 patents here, the device and the chemistry part. So we went to our filing agent. Here we are getting support from Punjab State Council for Science and Technology to file patents. So they did the patent search and they came up that the novelty exists and it's not an inventive step. It has an inventive step, a decent amount of invention involved in it. And it has industrial application, like at home, we can use them, or at a poultry farm. So we wanted to file 2 separate patents, but here their suggestion came from their expertise that if you combine the chemistry part novelty with the device novelty, it will make your patent application stronger. So we filed these both together, and now it is under review with the patent office. So next is this particular collaboration with the CSIR lab, IIT Roorkee and IIT Ropar. And INST also did part of our work in INST Mohali as well. So here it was basically, we had a substrate. We tried different kinds of layers in between to grow certain nano rods. So here it is copper nano oxide nanowires. So everybody was asking, after filing the patent, you can publish this data. So this is the publication after we had filed the patent. So we started filing the patent way back in 2017. And after going through a lot of process of filing back and forth with the filing officers, it took almost 1.5 years just to file the patent. And that is why the publication is more delayed. So we, as an engineer, as a person of scientific background, I am not an expert in writing down these patents. So getting a feedback from the patent officials, here the CSIR's patent office helped a lot. One of the CSIR labs, they helped a lot in writing this patent. And they were under the view that the chemistry part here is not that novel. How will it be patented? So they were up to us to ask us, what is the exact novelty step? You have to tell us that. And despite these reminders and despite this interaction, we found out that it was an understanding gap between the filing officers and the scientists, because we were not able to communicate the exact inventive step. And similarly, the people who are reading these patents at the patent office, sometimes there is this kind of a communication gap, and it's better that we talk with our filing officers beforehand so that we get a better idea how to file and what exactly to write, what are the exact objectives, and what exactly do you want to protect under this patent. So after all this, we were able to find another patent on a process which gave a different product of the copper oxide nanowires, which are longer and much thinner, which are used in various kind of applications. And finally, we have been working on many different devices after that, which are now patented. So here we have filed this patent, PPE sterilization, here a system and method for burst pressure measuring for adhesives. So we have some toilet seat cleaning apparatus. The BiPAP is not patented, of course. So we also encourage our BTech students to come up with new ideas. In IIT Ropar as such, we have a support from filing officers and private filing officers, which are under our contract with IIT Ropar. And we encourage our BTech students to file patents, and it is free for them to file patents. So under their device development projects, they make devices, and they are all protected under the IP, and they can file with IIT Ropar. For faculties, we get full support from the institute and the patent filing attorneys to file patents with a very nominal fees that is for academics that Dr. Pawan was already discussing in the session before. So with this, I would request every one of you to keep pushing and filing for patents, whether they have an inventive step, whether they have an application or not, keep checking and then keep doing your work. So that is my suggestion. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neha. I mean, you are a very nice storyteller. So I knew that this session will be very much engaging, and it happened so. So again, to our attendees, I would just remind you that you can raise your hand, or you can write your, queries, or if you want to directly interact to Neha, you can just raise your hand and you can ask her. Meanwhile, I would like to know your experience, like what I have seen, that you have multi-institutional patents, right? I mean, many other institutions were involved. So, I mean, how you shared credit? I mean, you know, always there is something like, so I would like to know that aspect.
There are two different ways for this. Sometimes when you are starting the project, at the start of the project, you make an MOU, mutual understanding ka ek form you sign, ki we'll share it equally, or we also do it with the industries. So if in industry wants their patent to be there, so we say, okay, the patent is yours, but the name in the patent will be there as, will be also there with you in the name. So it depends. It's all about your mutual understanding. So sometimes we give the patent to the industry, sometimes we share it 50-50 with the industry. Sometimes we say, no, we want to keep it fully. So it's totally between the two parties. So these two multi-institute projects, we had an MOU with them, and a mutual understanding was also quite good. So if we wanted that, we want 50-50 sharing of the final IPs, whatever income is going to come. So we signed that kind of an MOU. But that was done after the patent filing. Even the patent filing fees, we also did 50-50 from IIT Ropar and IIT Roorkee. That kind of thing also we have done. So it totally depends upon your mutual understanding, your MOUs. So it's quite flexible that.
Okay, great. And now as the students are here, so from their perspective, we would like to know, like you are an academician, right? So you are getting, say, some application from a candidate for, say, postdoctoral, maybe postdoctoral position. Maybe that candidate has, say, quite a good number of patent, but not publication. So would you like to have him or her in your group, or what will be your, because this kind of question generally comes into minds of students, or maybe when we were also student, we thought that probably we should have very high impact factor paper to get postdoctoral position, because so the perception is like, if we are going to industry, probably patent is good, but if we are going for academics, then probably publication is more important than patent. So what will be your take on this?
Being at my position, my current position, I push all my PhD students to have at least one patent. I say I'll not grant you a PhD until you have one patent. And if I get a postdoc who has more patents than papers, I'll grab him with her or him or her with both my hands. Because somebody who knows how to file patents, somebody who knows how to work with an application mind, वो paper तो publish कर ही लेगा. That is my assumption. So that is my assumption. I'm doing backward. क्योंकि patent अगर he or she has filed, that can be published easily. But all publication material is patentable or not, that is questionable. So a person with more patents, but as a first applicant, that I'll have to look, because sometimes patent में थोड़ा सा काम किया है and still they have a name in the patent. So we have to check that what the student has done themselves. That part is important.
Okay.
Yes, I'll surely know.
And like in IIT Roper, do you have, I mean, some weightage, like all different institute, of course, I mean, it depends on group also. So how much weightage as an institution IIT Roper gives for this patent, like when a student is submitting his or her PhD thesis? So
For PhD, there is no requirement for a patent. And
no,
usually,
it's not mandatory, but say someone has done some developmental work, okay, and he or she has got one patent or maybe two patent. So how the weightage is being given, or I mean, just an overall scenario we just wanted to have.
whenever you file a patent, usually it does not go into your PhD thesis. The very first thing is that. The second thing is the weightage part. Once it comes into your resume, whether or not it is inside your PhD thesis work or your PhD thesis, it increases the weight of your resume. And once your resume is weighted with patents, you are considered to be a good technologist or an engineer. So from an engineering and technology point of view, your applications is considered much better. Of course, the quality of patent is also considered, but of course the inventive step in it, how good it is, and the thought process behind it. And patents are always considered as a plus point in your resume.
Okay, and probably the last question from my side, like I have seen that the 6 patents that you have filed, all of them are Indian patent. So do you have any plan for like patenting in other countries, or you are happy with Indian patent?
So there are certain rules that stop me currently from filing to the US. So once we get an Indian patent, we are allowed to file the US patent through a proper channel. So after that is done, then only I'll be able to find the US patents. And I'm just telling you the same thing. I'm just training currently to patent. So once I am done with the Indian, then I'll go towards the US patent.
Okay.
Slowly, making small baby steps.
Great. So I don't see any more questions. So I think your talk was quite clear. And so thank you, Neha. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I think it has motivated many of the audience. And as it is in YouTube, I hope that many others will listen. And again, like if you have any query, or if you want to have interaction, please reach out to Neha over email. Just Google her name, or I mean, you will get it. Okay. So thank you, Neha. Now, now I will move to our third speaker. Dr. Dibyendu Chatterjee from ICAR National Rights Research Institute, Cuttack. So Dibyendu is a senior scientist and he is working with soil science, or you can say soil chemistry. And he has received his PhD from Indian Agricultural Research Institute, IARI, New Delhi. And before that, he earned his BSc degree from Bidhan Chandra Krishi Vishwavidyalaya, West Bengal. Now, Dibyendu has received several awards, including ISSS Golden Jubilee Young Scientist Award, Nanaji Deshmukh ICAR Award for Outstanding Interdisciplinary Team Research in Agriculture and Allied Science, the Clay Mineral Society of India Young Scientist Award, Best NRI Worker, ISCA Young Scientist Award, DN Bothakur Award, Dr. S.P. Roy Chaudhary Gold Medal Award, Institute Merit Medal Award for Outstanding Academic Performance in Doctor of Philosophy. And again, he is a proud member of INYAS. And he is associate of prestigious West Bengal Academy of Science and Technology, WAST. And he is a member of NAS, National Academy of Agricultural Science. So Dibyendu has published 66 research and review papers. He has written 7 books and 49 book chapters, 16 technical bulletins, and he has written 13 popular articles. So he has imparted and organized many training sessions for the farmers, as he is from the agricultural background, specifically farm women and students. And he is a famous resource person to provide lectures on the subject area of soil science and beyond. So today, Dibyendu will talk about patenting opportunity or his experience on patent from the perspective of agricultural science. So Dibyendu, floor is yours.
Thank you, Sriparna. Yeah. The topic of today's presentation is the intellectual property rights in agriculture. Is it visible now?
Yes, Dibyendu. Yeah, both. I mean, we can hear you and your presentation is visible.
Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So the topic is intellectual property rights in agriculture. And frankly, I am not an expert of IPR in agriculture. You can say the daily work, what we are doing, and probably we are associated with for different aspects. So there in intellectual property is involved. So likewise, we know a little bit of it. You cannot say I'm the expert. Mostly there are the same things like in other organization. We also have in agriculture like different products, and then different patents and other copyrights and all these issues. Mainly since I am in the domain of soil science, basically we develop certain technologies, and that technologies we publish through our, by taking proper approval. We have a mechanism of PME cell, and from there we take the approval, and afterwards, after director's approval and all, we publish it and give it to the public domain. And that way, mostly our work is, particularly my subject work. Actually, agriculture is a very vast. We have a lot of disciplines. So my subject work is more related to, the technology and its commercialization, or maybe the technology and its, spreading in the farmer's field and all those things. I'm not that good in patenting. I don't have any patent so far, but I think of filing one patent out of my last 3 years work. But I am totally new to this field, and I learned a lot from the morning sessions. it will really helpful for me. However, some of our subject disciplines like breeding or other disciplines, they are working with plant varieties, and they are doing some registration and all those things. So these are the domain where mostly we are roaming in agriculture. So coming to intellectual property, in the morning session already these things are covered, so I'm not speaking on this. So only I'll tell the thing is that IPR is not a it is just like a private rights, it's an individual ownership rights, and it just government want to make that my mind, my idea should have some comes to under some law jurisdiction. So government is doing giving a mechanism, providing a mechanism to enforce it and to prevent any crimes related to this misuse of IPR. Now these are the intangible rights, and these rights are transferable and inheritable. And we know that due to WTO agreement, India is a member of that. So we have TRIPS agreement, and that agreement brings all these types of things in the member countries. So I'm not going to tell all details of the TRIPS. You can Google it and you will find all this information. So because of this TRIPS agreement, after that, we have a lot of acts and laws which are coming into force, like these patent laws, and then GI Act, and then PPVFRA. Mainly this is the domain of agricultural science mostly. Then Biodiversity Act, Trademark Act, Design Act. So many things have come. So like in IP, you can see there are 7 main broad groups. So like plant varieties, industrial design, geographical indicators, trade secrets, trademark, copyright, patent. So these things already this is already discussed in the first session, that for patent we have 20 years period. For plant varieties it is 15 to 18 years depending on the plant material. Then GI has no limit, renewed after 10 years. Trademark is for no limit, but it is renewed after every 10 years. Now the copyright, we know that it will be lifespan plus 60 years. And then industrial design, then it is 10 years and plus another grant for 5 years and renewed after every 10th year. So this is the some of the information available from our office, that we have 13 files patented, 13 patents are filed, and then 3 were granted. And but commercialized technologies and plant varieties is 107. And PPVFRA registration also done is 37. Probably from this table you understand the domain or where we are mostly working. However, the trademark is 2 and copyright is 8. However, recently our new DG, Dr. Himanshu Pathak, he is now giving one slogan, that one scientist, one product. So OSOP. So now we are now apart from the commercialization of plant varieties or technologies or PPVRA registration, now our focus is going towards more the product development or patenting and this type of activities. Now coming to the patents, and this is very well known, it is a monopoly right for an invention by the government to the inventor and for the limited period. And here 3 type of patents are there: utility, design, and plant patents. They have different time periods. And there are several acts. The original act was started in 1970, and the domain was whole country. But later on there are several amendments, and there is a change in tenure or some new things which were not earlier not patentable, but later on it become patentable. So these changes are made. Now 3 characters mainly is considered for patenting, like novelty, inventive step, or industrial applicability. Now coming to the agriculture, the materials which can be patented is like microorganism with modifications, or inventive steps. Non-biological, biochemical, biotechnological, or microbial processes can be patented. Then novel chemical compounds we derive from the plants and animals, and the novel products and processes in the method of agriculture and horticulture. And which is not patentable is mostly if it is a simple method practiced in agriculture or horticulture, or it is a method for treatment of animals like animal science or fisheries. These are also, the part of agriculture. And then the plant, animals, seeds, and varieties, species, these which are not patentable. And then the traditional knowledges which are already there, which is are not patentable. So I'm giving one example like the glyphosate. This is a chemical which is mainly a weedicide, killing weeds, a total killer. So this glyphosate, I mean, Monsanto's product, and they are selling it as Roundup. But once the patent was, the tenure was ended, and then afterwards there are several trade names, and so many companies are coming and making it. Now, some examples I'm showing. This may be quite interesting. Like, there is a lot of biopiracy. So biopiracy means here, like you probably know the story of basmati rice. This one rice company is there, that is Rice Tech. They sell it in the name of Kasmati or Texmati or several other names they are using, and they have made 20 claims. So then APEDA, they just showed objections, and after a lot of evidences given to them from the Indian Agriculture Research Institute and Indian Institute of Rice Research. Earlier it was the Directorate of Rice Research. So they gave a lot of evidences, and after that, so 17 claims are was denied, and then finally they got patents for only 4 claims. So things are happening like that. The developed nations, they are using our traditional knowledges and our use, and then they patent it, and then later on there are some objections, and then later on it was revoked. Like for turmeric also, two researchers, they have they took the patent, and they are saying that it helps in healing the wound. But this is century old knowledge from Indian side, that we know all about it. So these things were again told them by citing some research papers published in some journals, and finally it got cancelled. So these are the biopiracies examples. Like neem also, same thing. Probably during our childhood we heard about it. So same thing happened, and it was again, they are given evidences that this cannot be taken as a patent. So due to this, several indigenous crops which are really known to us, which are which are having medicinal and other properties. So the library was made, the traditional knowledge and digital library. Even in ICR, there is a lot of publications related to indigenous technical knowledge, ITKs. So once these things are documented, then these can be cited, and they are patent. Those who are filing in the developed nations, that can be opposed. So these are the few examples. Now the plant varieties, the requirement of the use of genetic resources in agriculture is very important. And the reason why we need to safeguard these plant varieties, because there are a lot of genetic resources are required for developing some new varieties. So if we make one platform where we can safeguard and we can register all the varieties, so for that, these PPV, FRA, these things are coming into existence. Then many places, farmers are also doing a lot of selections. I mean, professional breeders, apart from the professional breeders, some farmers are also very good in doing selections, natural selections. So they're doing their selections, and they're making sometimes some varieties, or those things need to be, protected. because someone else will take that and produce in large scale, and then they sell it and they are taking profit, but they are not giving anything back to the farmers or the farming community. So some seed requirement, seed chain is really a big thing. For that, suitable varieties is required, and these things, and finally the safeguard of the interest of the farmers. So there are several legal protections, like WTO TRIPS already I told, and some international framework is also there, UPOV. And in India, it has its own PPVFRA, Protection of Plant Varieties and Farmer Rights Act 2001. So that helps in, protecting the farmer rights. Not only farmer rights, the breeders and the researcher rights too. So these acts came in 2001 and becomes rule in 2003. And these are the links you can see. This is the Gazette notification of that act. So the main thing is that it helps in development of the new plant varieties, because it will be a good source of germplasm with all registers, all data we need. Then it also facilitates the growth of the seed industries. Then a role of the farmers as cultivators and conservers that will be recognized by this act. And type of varieties that can be registered are, it should be a new variety that that should have the novelty, and it should pass the dust testing. Dust testing means the distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability. It may be an extant variety. These are the terms I already I explained in some other slides, that conforms to the criteria of distinctiveness, uniformity, and stability. But for farmers variety, this dust testing is not required. And then the registration can be done by any breeder or farmer or by institute or universities. The beauty is, if farmer is doing it, then it is totally free of cost. But for other, there is a certain cost involved. Now, extant variety means that is notified under the Section 5 of the Seed Act, or it may be a farmer's variety or variety which there is a common knowledge for a long time, or maybe it is in the public domain that facilitate the growth of the seed industry. And the farmer's variety means it is traditionally cultivated and evolved by the farmers, or it may be the wild relative or landless of the varieties. And there is another term that is EDV, essentially derived variety, which is predominantly derived from the another variety or the and conforms the initial variety in all aspects, except for the differences which result from the act of derivation, and it is clearly distinguishable for the initial varieties. Now, there are certain rights which are being protected by this act, like the breeder can produce, sell, market, and then distribute, export, import this variety, or he can appoint some licensee. Then researcher also, he can freely access to these protected materials and developing new varieties of the plants, and repeatedly he can use with if you want to use repeatedly, then he has to take prior permission from the breeder. And the farmers, they got the benefit or compensation will be given to the community, and then sometimes they need not to pay any fee for that. They will get the rights of the breeder, what the breeder is enjoying, they will also get the rights, and also they will get the recognition for it. And it will help in the local seed transaction and protection from the infringement. So this variety registration will cost for extant variety. So you please read it 2,000 rupees, not 200. Then for new variety and essentially derived variety or extant variety about which there is a common knowledge. So for this, individual it is 7,000, educational it is 10,000, or commercial it is 50,000. And then for farmers variety, there is no fee, as I told earlier. So these are the certification, and it is giving valid for 9 years for trees and vines, and 6 years in case of other crops. And then finally it is renewed and reviewed after this period, and then the total period is not exceeding 18 years. I wrote already that's 15 to 18 years. So in case of trees and vines, it is 18 years, and is 15 years from the variety under the Seeds Act. And these are the authority, PPVFRA authority. It's a registered office in Delhi. So it is just taken from their website. So they have issued already 5,276 certificates. Now, GI is another aspect. Mostly, it also deal with agricultural things. Out of 195 GIs registered, 57 are related to agriculture or other goods with agriculture, like Darjeeling tea, Nagpur orange, all these things we know. Queen pineapple, Navara rice. So these are all the GI, and you know, it is required because it gives assures the quality and desired traits of authenticity. Like Darjeeling tea, many people, when you're visiting to Darjeeling, maybe they will, if someone is selling in the name of Darjeeling tea, but that is not authenticated Darjeeling tea. So the organization or those who are registering for these Darjeeling tea GI, so they can sue them. And it helps in trade and tourism, and they can get a premium price, and the unauthorized use of the GI can be sued in court. So these are the benefits of this GI. Sorry. So this is one of the case study, like Darjeeling tea, this GI status they received on October 2004. And afterwards, they hired some experts, CompuMark. So they watch throughout the world, this tea board they hired it. So they watch throughout the world whether someone is misusing their this GI. So they found a lot of cases in abroad also, that there is a use of misuse. So they're taking the legal actions. And there is also an example that in Switzerland they got Darjeeling tea fragrance for men someone is using. So that they got some legal negotiations, and they own it. So this is one of the example of protection is GI. So these are the it can be applied by any persons or producer organization and authorities, or its time it is taking around 12 months, and it can be renewed in every 10 years, and there is no expiry date, and anyone can registered proprietor or authorized user can use it. Then the benefit, the exclusive right to the registered geographical indicators, and if there is an infringement, then there is a chance of 2 years of imprisonment and 50,000 fine minimum. So this is the legal aspects related to GI. Now coming to the trade secrets, this is like other subjects. It can be any. In the morning session already in details it was told, so I am skipping this. Now trademarks also. Trademarks, the basic thing, there is no difference in case of agriculture, but there are several trademarks, like in agriculture I have shown the logo of them. So these are the different registered or unregistered, the trademarks, the symbols. Then this is the Trademark Act. Trademark Act, it helps the legal protection like the other laws. So this is another case study, which I'll say. The Amul, we know Amul. Amul is a cooperative society. So someone else in Canada, they are using Amul Canada, and they are using the logo of Amul, the taste of India. It was copied the same logo. So since India is a WTO member, so even in Canada also, this this trademark, even it is within Indian domain, but still they sued the unauthorized user regarding this misuse of their logo. And finally, they received around 32,000 Canadian dollars. So this is one of the example of infringement and then this issues. And copyright already in morning sessions, it was in detail told. And there is another case like, the copyright of the Steger's book, once it was withdrawn, and after it was withdrawn, it has now come with several, published by several other publishers. So not only Vishwabharati, now several other publishers can publish it. Now, industrial designs, mostly in agriculture, we have engineering section, so they are making civil industrial designs, but maybe they have to take all this, certification and all. Now, the ICR, they have already prepared and guidelines, and also it was revised. So ICR have also established another cell, which is Intellectual Property and Technology Management Unit. So these units, they have some thrust areas. The main motto is, to protect the intellectual property with respect to the agriculture. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Divyendu, for sharing these interesting facts and findings. I mean, although you told that you are yet to file a patent, but I think you can go ahead for this. I mean, you know many things about patenting. So
actually,
not only patenting, I mean, many things about IP related issues. And at the same time, I was surprised to see the biopiracy thing. I mean, we were totally unaware about this. And I think that many of our attendees also, they were not aware. And of course, I mean, while listening to you, I was just thinking that is the beauty of having people from diverse background, because otherwise we would not have known this. So thanks a lot to you for sharing all this to you. So as I don't see again any comment or question from the audience side, but I would like to ask you, like you mentioned that probably you will file one patent very recently or something like that. So so what was the major hiccup or maybe the major constraint you realized in your research area or maybe in your domain for filing patents?
Yeah, what I usually see is the lack of knowledge, first of all. Like, say, research paper and all, we are really now, say, I'm already my 12th year of service in ICS. So now I'm confident on publication and even developing some technologies, bring it to the farmers field and get it published through our PME system, what I told already. So this is very well known. And in agriculture, mostly we are mostly confident. Probably I have shown you the slide where NRI is main, I mean, where you can see 107 varieties or commercialized technologies, all those things are there, or the technologies for the farmers, those things are already there. But in patents, you can see only 3 granted. So the issue is we are still lacking behind, but the thing is that we don't have at present much knowledge about it. But recently our director and the other I mean the senior people, they are already started patenting, and now I mean out of this 13, I remember maybe 5-6 has been filed in last few years only. So things are changing, and we got already directive from the ICR that one scientist, one product. So we have to give at least one product, and product means, you understand, you have to file the patent and get it commercialized. So these things are required. So yeah, problems are there, but we are learning.
Yeah, so that means you are emphasizing on having some training session for IPR related issues. Probably that will help the researchers. I mean,
yes,
probably it is applicable not only in agriculture, for all sectors. I mean, all diverse field of science, or maybe beyond science.
Suparna, if one session solely can be organized on the different aspect of patenting, maybe my whole institute will be well benefited from that. So we can think of it in future with the experts from the different field. We can take their help, and it will be really helpful for the whole NRI, I can tell.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
again, to our audience, like if you have any direct query to the Bendu, please write to him, and so he will be happy to interact with you. So thank you, Dibyendu, once again.
Thank you.
And now we will move to our fourth and last speaker of this session. Dr. Lakshmidhar Beshra is serving as a chief scientist, and he is heading materials chemistry department of CSIR IMMT. So research focus of Dr. Lakshmidhar Beshra's group is mainly on development of corrosion resistant coating of various materials. I mean, it includes both organic, inorganic composites using electrophoretic deposition, high velocity oxyfuel, cold spray, basically for the development of advanced coating for industrial application. So Dr. Beshra is a well-renowned researcher and academician, and he has many awards and accolades in his CV. To name a few, he has received Advanced Research Award in 2012 from Japan Society for Powder and Powder Metallurgy. He has received NASA Technology Brief Award in the year 2007. He was NIMS postdoctoral fellow at Tsukuba, Japan. He received IIME Best Published Award on environmental issues related to mineral processing, and he received fellowship under Better Opportunity for Young Scientists in a chosen area of science and technology. That is basically popular name is Boys Cast, and he is also a DIRT fellow. So he was in Germany for academic exchange service during the year 1998 and 1999. And so if you just scroll through his Google Scholar page, you will find he has a citation of above 5,000, and his most cited paper is something with a number of 2437. So this gives you an idea that what a kind of excellent researcher he is. So in today's session, actually, we would like to know that how Dr. Beshra has translated his research excellence into entrepreneurship. So Dr. Beshra, the floor is yours. Please share your story.
Thank you, Dr. Shiparna, for the kind introduction. Let me share my slide. So can you see my screen?
Yes, both your screen and your voice is clear to us.
Let me make it to a presentation mode. So is it in the presentation mode, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much, Dr. Shiparna and Dr. Pawan Kumar, INYAS, IMMT, for having me for this presentation. Actually, I'm very excited to talk about this this journey, which we have just started with my PhD student along with two other colleagues. This is basically a, researchers, we are very comfortable developing technologies, publishing papers, and doing this project reports and so on. But this is something uncharted territory which I had never thought of before. But as you heard today, Pawan talked so much about this patenting. So it is only after this some kind of ecosystem about patent awareness and things like that that came in IMMT, which happened during last 3 or 4 years after Pawan Kumar joined this institute. So we could patent a technology which is on this 2D material mixing, which my PhD student Usha Kiran he is working on it, and he is going to submit his thesis by next month or two. So we are working on these two-dimensional materials, which we have developed here. So that is the basis of that patent, from which we thought of making this journey into entrepreneurship. So we have come across a lot of challenges, a lot of unknown scenario. So I'll share something of that. And of course, talk a little bit about this Maxine 2D material that we have developed. Yeah. So before that, I just want to tell you what is entrepreneurship. So basically, if you look into the definition, it says that it is these entrepreneurs are people that notice opportunities and take initiative to mobilize resources to make some goods and services. So these people on the screen really made a lot of these opportunities to develop something that what you see now. And so we thought we will take this opportunity about our research, what we have developed, and do something about it, not just publishing. So what makes a successful entrepreneur? If you look through this, you'll find that something which is creative and innovative, which we have been hearing since the first talk, and creating new products or processes, okay, and positioning. Positioning means where it is going to be used, who are the people who are going to benefit, and how useful it is going to be for an industry or a society. So that is very important. And then, of course, create new and innovative processes so that you can improve the quality of your processes and the economics of the process to develop it. And of course, deliver your product or process to the end user. So these are the basic 5 principles which are necessary. So and I also want to talk to you about, so how do you go about it? So once you have decided to become an entrepreneur and take the journey, so how do you go about it? These are 5 key elements again, which needs to be taken care. First is that you are discovering or inventing or innovating. So you generate ideas, recognize opportunities, and you study the market, and then you develop a concept. Here, what I mean is you develop a business plan and of the detailed proposal and the business idea. And the third thing is resourcing, which is very important. Resourcing here means you should have the financial resources, you have the human resources, you have the infrastructure, you have the raw material, and so many things you need to integrate. And after that comes the actualization, that is actually operating the business and utilizing the resources to achieve your objective. And of course, finally, the harvesting. And that is about future growth of the enterprise that you have started. So these are the things which are worth pursuing. So in this case, what we have done is about a 2-dimensional material which we have developed. If you look through the 2-dimensional family of materials in material science, you find so many materials. Graphene is very popular and known to all of you. Other than that, there are phosphorins, TMDs, LTMOs, hexagonal boron nitride, layered halide perovskites, and so on, LDH. So these 2-dimensional materials, they exhibit exceptional properties, very different from bulk materials. whether you talked of optical properties or electrical properties and so on. So, but the most recent one to this family is MXene. That is where our interest is. So these are actually, and this, if you look through this global market, you'll see that there is a lot of potential growth which is projected in this 2D material. And also, if you look through the literature, the publications are exponentially increasing in this field. So, when you talk of these 2D materials, automatically the graphene, which is already existing, comes into your mind. So this is just a comparison of these two materials, graphene and MXene. So no doubt, graphene is the strongest material because of its very high Young's modulus and tensile strength. And so it is one of the very popular 2D materials for many different applications. But one of the drawback which graphene has is it has a zero band gap. So because of that, it has no possible application in energy application. Only, but on the other hand, MXenes have some finite band gap which can be again tuned for specific energy applications. So some of the areas where graphene cannot be applied, so MXene fills in those gaps. So that is the reason. So it is very promising material to work on. So that's why we also ventured into this MXene thing. And now if you look at the opportunities, the whole lot of applications in materials, whether you talk of energy materials, electromagnetic, electronic, structural, biomedical, water purification, everywhere you find the application of these MXene nowadays. And this is just to give you a summary of different fields of this 2D material where it has the potential application in energy, catalysis, electronic, biomedical, environment, sensors, and so many applications you can see here. So that's the importance of this material. So before I come to MXene, I just want to talk about this MaxPage. MaxPage is basically the precursor material from which the MXene is obtained. So it has this kind of general formula. It is basically the carbides, nitrides, or carbonitrides of this transition metal element, which are shown here in this periodic table. These are the M. This yellow one is M, and these pink ones are the A, and the carbon and nitrogen are the X. So you can have different configuration of these MaxPages like M2X2 or M3X2, depending on the different configuration of this material. So from this, actually the MXenes are produced by etching out this A layer. So you'll be left with this Mn plus 1 xn, which is MXene. And so this is a 2D material. So in the process of etching, you will be creating some surface terminal groups which are like this OH, F, this NAFs. So because of presence of these things, the MXene is water. You can make it is very wetting. You can wet it with water, so it can be made easily handled. It can be made suspension. So processing becomes easier. So unlike the other hydrocarbon, the hydrophobic material. So this is hydrophilic. So that's why the processing is easier. Now, coming to our invention, this is the conventional method, what everybody does to synthesize this MaxPage, that is the precursor, where the elemental titanium, silicon, or carbon, they're mixed and they are heated at high temperature, around 1400 degrees for 2 hours to produce this powder MaxPage. And this MaxPage is, so we have done that and we have optimized different parameters, their molar ratios, their particle size optimization, and we ended up getting very high purity MaxPage, which looks like this. This is a 3D structure, and we have characterized, and also from that max phase, we have etched out the A layer using this scheme by acid etching, and got this layered two-dimensional materials which looks like accordion kind of structure, layer by layer. And we have verified the structures using different techniques, mostly XRD. And so this we had done in the lab scale. So you might ask that, so what is so great about it? This everybody does in the lab. Everybody synthesize some materials and produce some products in the lab scale. So what is so great about that? So the thing is, we optimize the parameters and we got very pure and very high quality of these 2D materials. And we have characterized that and checked with their purity and their performance for different applications. So and now I was talking about what is so great about this. This everybody does. So the thing is, the synthesis process takes a lot of time. You saw about 1400 degrees C, 2 hours soaking. So if you add up the heating and cooling time of the furnace, they will be more than 20 hours. So it is very energy intensive process. So that's the reason the cost of these materials, if you buy, is very expensive, very expensive. So but in the meantime, we came across a process called flash sintering. Okay, so flash sintering is a process which is mostly used by ceramic consolidation, ceramic for densification. So normally here the compact is sandwiched between two electrodes, and the DC source you provide the electric field and provide some activation energy by heating it to a little bit 200 or 300 degree. So you suddenly, because of the exothermic nature, you suddenly get a flash, and all the reactions that were happening at 1400 degree for so much of time. So here you can get the same reaction completed within 1 minute. In fact, less than 30 seconds, you get the same product. And so there is no necessity of heating or cooling. So immediately it cools down. So we have adopted this flash sintering technique, which are normally applied for densification in ceramic processing for synthesizing our precursor material max phase. It is shown here. And I can show you how much time it takes to just synthesize this max phase material. So this is a flashing event. So yeah, so the reaction is completed. That's it. So this is the time which is needed to synthesize this material. So because of such a short time in which you can make the same product, same Ti3 SiC2 max phase, so we thought then maybe this will definitely be much economical and much cheaper compared to what is available commercially in the market. Okay, and so is Dr. Pavan was saying about patentability. So first we tried to look through whether it is patentable or not, and this is definitely, we thought it is an innovative thing. And we looked through this patent search. So we are very fortunate in CSIR system to have this support from a unit which we have in Pune, URDIP, Unit for Research and Development of Information Products. So they help us to search all the databases, not only the free databases which Dr. Pavan was saying, but also paid databases to make a very exhaustive patent search. And this is the outcome of that patent search. You see that there is only one patent which mentioned about the term flash sintering. But when you studied it, when we studied closely and looked through it, we found that it is not true sense only a flash sintering. Rather, it also combines it with spark plasma sintering. So there is a opportunity. There was an opportunity for us. So we were confirmed that there is no single step flash sintering technique and such economical technique which have been patented. So based on these reports which are provided to us by the UDIF, so we started filing the patent, and not only the Indian patent, but also the PCT application we did. Of course, we retained the same title which Dr. Pavan Kumar was mentioning today morning. So both the Indian patent and the PCT applications have been filed. And we also, now when we decided about the entrepreneurship journey, it is very important to find out about what is the cost of our material compared to what is there available commercially. So we looked through different products which are available commercially, and we found, as expected, that our the cost of production, what I have shown here is only the cost of production. I have not added the marketing cost and other costs. So you see there about 1/10 of the some of the products are about 1/10 of the price. Where even if you add up the marketing cost, let's say it becomes double, still the cost is significantly lower than what is available commercially. So this is very promising. That is what struck our mind then. And another thing is we evaluated some of the commercially available products and checked their purity in our lab. And to our surprise, we found that some of the products which are available are not reliable. One of the examples I would want to tell you is, see these Maxin's 2D materials, they can be available commercially in two forms. One is a multi-layer Maxin or a few layer Maxin. So multi-layer Maxin will have many of these layers. Few layer Maxin will have about 4 to 8 sheets. And so the few layer Maxins, definitely their prices are very high. Okay, but to our surprise, what we found in these some of these commercial products is that the same product is packed in the name of multi-layer and few layer, and they are selling at two different prices. How did we check? One of the characteristic property to check the purity of 2D layer, few layer or multi-layer is to look at the from the XRD, the 2 theta value. The multi-layer 2 theta value will be somewhere around 8.8 to 8.9, which is there. But once you separate these layers into few layers, the characteristic 2 theta should shift to much lower value, around 6.1. This is for the few layer. So you see the lower two bottom curves, both the multi-layer and few layer things are showing 8.8. So this is how we check different products. We found that they are not very reliable. So there is an opportunity here. And so what is the gap that we wanted to fill? We did a little bit of survey about the market, about the purity, about we talked to many people, many researchers who are using, and some of the users, and we found that there is some of the gaps which are available there, opportunities there. So, if you look to the market, there are only one company in Ukraine and another in Canada who commercially make this. All other who you find buying and all others are selling these products are mostly traders. Okay, and purity thing is an issue which and reliability is an issue which I already talked about, and also cost, very very high cost, and and also many of the people whom we talk to are not very satisfied about it, and and the usability is another important thing. How the researchers or the end users want something which is reliable, which is value for money, and it should be available in different forms. Let's say, whether it is powder form or in the form of a suspension or in the form of a film or freestanding film and so on. So these are the things which we actually looked into, and we found that there is an opportunity to take. So we started this venture, but in this venture, a lot of challenges are still there, which we are trying to overcome. So now you all are very familiar with the valley of death. Although for we researchers, in the lab scale, something which looks so promising, so high performance and so good, has to be translated into a prototype and for specific applications. So we have done some of the prototyping, particularly for the corrosion prevention coatings. We have applied this to some of the industries. Some of the things are still going on with interaction with them, and also this is the list of other areas where prototyping is now happening. And after we complete this prototyping and showcasing, then we'll proceed further in this journey. Right now, we are somewhere in the middle, which is the most critical thing. But we are very fortunate that we are getting all kinds of support from our institute, from the patenting, and also some of the investors we are talking to, and so it's a very promising time. And these are the Maxine products, different forms in which I talked about. We are going to take it to the market. These are already produced in different forms and different types. And so this is the thing. So far the journey has been just started, but a lot of challenges is there. So, but it is very exciting and fulfilling, but still a long way to go. And we have to do pilot scale production, which is now happening. We started with about 1 gram, and then producing at 5 gram, and then 30 gram. And right now we are producing about 50 grams per batch. So per batch, but in multiple batches, we are about per day we can produce up to 1 kg max phase and about 100 gram of maxines. So we want to further increase this capacity, and of course prototyping. And of course, we are in the process of registering ourselves in different Startup India or Startup Odisha and so on. And branding and positioning is again very important, which we will be doing. And so this is the thing which I have taken from one of the sources. So for every big enterprise, start with a small dream. So we are dreaming, and also we are trying to translate that small dream in some way into some action, and with people who are around us. I should say that I also should say a few words about the Usha Kiran, the PhD students. So very enthusiastic, and always in the lookout for what can we do next. He's not only satisfied with publishing. It is his idea to actually start working on vaccine. He only came up with the idea of starting working with vaccine. So we are learning from each other. So we are learning from our peers, and we are learning from collaborators with whom we have already shared some of our products for free, and they are evaluating it for their application. So the feedback that we got from some of them are very, very promising. Many of them have got very good results. So we are looking forward to engage on those feedbacks in future. So the startup that is named Recipro Labs is now already incubated in the Intake. This is incubation center in CSR IMMT. The concept of this Recipro Labs is concept to commercialization. This is one of the product is vaccine. So we are also working on several other R&D areas, and also trying to patent. So if something similar happens, we definitely look forward from this concept to commercialization. And also we are open to collaborate with others if there is something already available in the lab scale at some stages. Now that we have some experience, we'd like to collaborate to take it to the marketplace. So I should thank our director, who is always very supportive of particularly these startup activities, and of course all the PhD scholars and my colleagues and funding agencies for to enable us do this activity. Thank you very much. So.
Thank you, Dr. Beshra. So, I mean, I think you are one step ahead. So after patenting, you had gone to entrepreneurship also. So on behalf of our audience, I would like to ask you, like, is there any straightforward roadmap what our students can, or maybe the researchers, not students, any researchers can follow to open startup company or like entrepreneurship they can go for? So do you suggest any recipe for that?
I think there is no any standard recipe. Each dish has its own recipe. Okay, so each product has its own, but the general thumb rule is, as I showed in the beginning, the positioning, whether that product or process, who is going to use, and whether it is going to be beneficial, whether it is going to be economical, whether the performance is on par or higher than what is existing in the thing. So if you can evaluate your product or process compared to what is already existing with the end users, so you can make a decision to whether to go for this or not, to entrepreneur or not.
So, so the very essential question that comes in my mind that, so then should we be vocal for market-driven research? I mean, that product-driven research, because see, the research is, it's not only product-driven, sometimes they are basic research also, right? So basic science, understanding. So what will be your take on
I
that?
would like to differ a little bit. See, there are both the possibilities, sometimes market-driven, sometimes product-driven. If you look to your cell phones and all this, I think these are mostly product-driven thing. See, every 2 years you find a new version of these with new features, and I don't know if you are able to make use of all the features. But you will notice that after 6 months or 1 year, you'll find another version of this thing. So these are basically product-driven. But many of most of the things are of course market driven. What is demand in the market, and what is required in the market. So of course, most of the things are market, but few like this mobile phones and things like this are product driven. So depending on what is at your hand, you have to decide.
Okay, so another question will be like, say someone has fixed up his mind, or they have conceptualized, okay, we will so we will start this particular kind of startup or company, we will open a company. Whom should they first approach? So what should be their first?
This is really particularly for how we researchers, because this is altogether a different domain, different territory, as I said in the beginning. So there are so many things which are involved. The first thing that after you have made up that, okay, you are going to do a startup, the first thing you cannot do it on your own. There are a lot of guidelines which are available in the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, okay, MCA website. So there, all these guidelines are there. But one of the important thing is to get hold of a company secretary. These are the people. Company secretary are the people who are certified to submit your applications to MCA, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, on your behalf, to get it registered. Only a certified company secretary can submit your application for a company incorporation on your behalf. So this is the first thing, and he will guide you through the process. There are many forms, many identification numbers which are there. Yeah. So
Okay.
the company secretary will guide you through the process.
Okay, thank you. So I think we have come to the end, because I don't see any question in the chat box, and I don't see any hand raised. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dr. Beshra, on behalf of both IMMT and INYAS. And so with this, Dr. Beshra's talk, we have come to the end of this session. Before we all leave, I would request all of you to, if possible, please switch on your video mode so that we can have a nice photograph of all of us. And Dr. Beshra, please unshare your screen.
And Shriparna, seems there is one more query in the chat box. I don't know whether it has you have taken it or not, from Dr. Chatterjee from NRRA.
Oh, yeah, but that was actually to you. So I thought that you will write.
Yeah. Fine then. So I just thought of answering that.
Yeah, sure.
If a product is functioning well but suffers economic viability, will it be suitable for patenting or should exercise other IP options? So here, like, if your product is functioning well, I think that should be sufficient for you to obtain a patent. Economic viability is a matter of concern while you go for commercial exploitation. Okay. You can work on that further. You can make an improved version of your existing product, and for that improved version also you can take a patent, provided if that improvement is a significant improvement. All this is possible. So you need not really worry about the economic viability while looking for patents. Hope I have answered.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. So Ananya, can you quickly take few of our pictures? So if you are done, just give me a thumbs up.
Why not Coca-Cola then?
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So thank you all of you. Our 4 excellent speakers, and especially Pawan for reaching us to organize this event. And I see Professor Latte here. So thank you, sir, for joining us. And I also see Professor Topobroto Shom from IOP Bhubaneswar, actually, who is here since morning. So again, thank you, Professor Shom, for attending this session. And all other attendees, I'm unable to take individual names, but thank you all for attending this session. And at the same time, we are thankful to INYAS as well as IMMT for allowing us to host this event. And a special mention to Ananya. She is our INYAS office. She is handling the INYAS office for her help, and she made all these, I mean, this online thing arrangement. So she is a great help to us. And I think we have shared the link where I mean you can get your certificate that we mentioned in the I mean the flyer. So you just fill up that form, so you will get your certificate
by email.
And,
By first week of July, you will be receiving the certificate in your email. They'll all the
August, first week of
sorry,
August.
yes, first week of August. Sorry.
Yeah. And we hope to have you in some other event and with this such kind of enthusiasm. So thank you. Thanks a lot. See you again. Bye-bye.
So thank you all, and special thanks to Dr. Sriparna for being instrumental in doing the entire program. And also thank you, Ananya. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Sriparna, for a very nice program, and I really enjoyed the program since the morning. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, shall I end the meeting for all?
Yes, Ananya. Now you can end the meeting.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.